can learn a lot of grind and slide tricks there because it's so long.
So, you know, I was thinking, since I can now backsmith ledges, I should now try it on a quarter pipe.
Yeah,
because I've never done it yet, like on an actual quarter. Yeah, I've never, like, I've done like a stall, obviously, but I've never done like a backsmith grind.
It's one of the first tricks I learned, I feel like.
But for me, even on street though, it took me forever to learn. Like, I just learned backsmith like this year, I swear.
Way harder on a ledge than it is training. Like, basically with transition, the way, and maybe we can walk through it.
Oh yeah, you'll teach me a little.
Yeah,
bit.
I can show you my approach to that, even though I got my street board, but
who cares?
Good, like, you know.
Because it's essentially, literally that's my setup, so it'll actually make sense.
44s, baby.
It really I have bigger wheels on than you right now.
That is crazy.
That's the first time that's ever happened. Wow.
But what I was gonna say is, like, you essentially do a backside grind, which is one of the first tricks you learn on
Obviously.
transition. But then you just intentionally hang up, and a lot of it is about where your hip placement is.
Okay.
You know, we can go over there.
Okay, let's go over there. Let's go over there. I guess this is what we're gonna start doing today. Ask me if I can backsmith stall, and so usually when I do a backsmith stall, though, dude, I'll like usually put my heel on it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
that's
the one.
That's the
common
one
denominator that people do is to try to balance their heel. I would almost argue it's not backsmith at that point.
So I think that's how I used to always do it until I until I learned how to ollie into a backsmith grind. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, because now you realize how sketchy it is.
And now, exactly, because I always hang up now and I do that. So now that knowing that knowledge, my street knowledge, is that going to help transfer over to the transition now?
It will.
Oh yeah, so continue. I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to talk about that.
I think a
Let's
lot about this trick is about having a light front foot. So you're having a light front foot. Somebody once told me this move, and it sounds silly, but it really resonated with me. It's like you got to go bowling. So you're just like, bowling position. I know it sounds crazy, but that's like your back knee is like really like this, while your front is just kind of tippy toe. So ideally, in the perfect world, you're using your toes on this foot to keep it into this little pocket. So those toes, your big toe and, like, you know, the other ones that are right here, they're kind of like holding that little pocket spot.
Okay.
And then the front of your foot, this is how I don't do this thing, because you know most people do that.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty common thing. That's how you stall it. But like if you move your foot over from
how straight do you keep your front
foot?
It
like this, almost like super straight.
That's straight?
Yes.
Because even when I backsmith a ledge with my foot's okay, maybe it's like that,
keep it
not
that
super straight,
it helps
but
push it. You're pushing it.
Yeah.
Use your front foot as the guide, and all your weight's in those back toes. So again, if you're just
gonna ask, but with smaller wheels, is that easier or harder? You'll find out.
It's easier to grind, but easier to hang up as well.
Oh, it looks so fresh with the little wheels because you like lock into that thing.
But I also think that's what will prevent you from grinding far.
Okay, I see.
Your truck's gonna push you in.
Woo! Oh.
Eventually you can't keep pushing it because there's so much
truck and that makes sense. So you just stick.
The other thing is when you go up to stall it, slide that back truck in. See what I'm saying? Just slide it.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk stalling really quick. So that's how I should do it first before I grind.
So when you're going up from the stall, instead of getting on the top like a pivot and then doing that, I try to actually not lift up too much and slide the back truck into it.
Okay, interesting.
I mean that's really dramatic, like, but
I kind of know what you mean.
To like go all the way up.
Okay.
And then turn, because I feel like it's harder to balance. Or if you can kind of go up and then
kind of slash and slide.
Again, it's like using your hips to kind of find that lock spot.
Okay, so then you want to just be hanging down there more.
Yeah, and this is like the perfect position right here, in my opinion, because you want to make sure your rail has that contact to the board, because that's what's also holding it into place.
Yeah.
You know, because if it's like this, it's like a lot of balance.
Yeah,
it's
sketch. You want to lock. You want that full pinch.
And you probably noticed that with like
on the ledge
and stuff.
Yeah, the full pinch when you feel that sitting on it.
Everything's almost happening from the half of the board mark. Everything from here to here. So that front foot is just sideways to guide it. You know, that's kind of the idea. You want to try a few?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try a few. Yeah, because I'm curious to just see how it's gonna translate from doing it on the street to the transition.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is gonna be how you get into it.
Okay.
So I think it's because normally you ollie and you land into a perfect position. With this one, I think it's going to be a lot about, like, again, this toe side over here, and like
and sliding in. Okay, see, I've never tried that.
Yeah.
I've always kind of gone up and
which I think that will prevent you from grinding. That's a decent way to stall, but when you're grinding like that, you're coming down and onto it versus using it to push through.
That totally makes sense.
You know?
We tried to stall it first.
Yeah, little stall ski.
my heat, you know?
That's the big like difference between. Yep. Oh,
so scary.
See, the hang up factor is what's scary. It's like it feels like you're gonna hang up on your back truck a little bit.
I felt that.
So you almost want to like push it out of it. Like think of it like even though when you're stalling, you kind of want to push it out. What I mean by that is like don't drop straight back down. Kind of push your board in front of you a little bit.
Power slide.
Yeah, a little bit of a power slide out. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Oh.
Woo!
That's so scary on
It's scary because like it's a lot of truck action. And it feels like you're gonna hang up, but if you could just power slide in and out. So I think the power slide into it also helps you power slide out.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
And I think it's crazy. So I'm feeling that my feet are sitting my feet are even closer together on transition than it is on street.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Like that's been because I think even just stalling it, I felt like I was kind of doing it wider, like
Yeah.
what I normally do, and I noticed it needs to be closer together.
And that helps you avoid hanging up too, because then you have more lift and you're pushing it out versus having weight on the whole board. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah, the grind is easier sometimes though.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, that's a good one. I think the grind can be easier sometimes because there's less hang up factor because there's a lot of motion happening. Yeah.
Touch my heel.
No, that was clean.
I just tried to like.
You're swerving into it nice. It's a nice swerve in.
I'm gonna try a little slide.
A little skirt.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean that one just stuck a little bit. Again, it's like about a lot when I think the big difference between the grind and the stall is like where your hips are. So that you're above it when you're stalling. But when you're grinding, you're trying to push it in front of you. So like when you're grinding like this versus like this when you're stalling. If that makes sense.
I need to lean back
Like
some more.
the front foot might be a little higher on the board when you're grinding versus stalling too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To kind of balance that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting
A
there.
little grind. That's progress. I mean, that wasn't a stall. Now you just gotta go.
Back more, but it's scary.
Yeah, you definitely could sit back more.
Right?
When you're belling, when you're falling from it, you want to be falling off the back,
Not from the front.
not from the front.
Yeah, like that
That's
one I
kind of a
stuck
good
forward.
sign. Yeah, I think if you can even go a little faster, and then just start because you're gonna have to go a little faster if you want to go further. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those tricks that like I feel like you have to really push it and use your momentum to get the grind going. It's hard to grind faster or further if you don't have enough speed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're saying go faster.
a little bit. I think so. I think it'll help. Yeah, see, I don't know. I think I was looking better.
Was that better?
It looked better to
I
me.
just hung up like kind of at the end.
Well, now it's also like a little bit of a balancing act. So like you're locking into it, but you do have to try to like
Now sit.
balance it and like push it forward. You
That's
know?
what I'm not doing.
Yeah,
I
pushing-
can feel that I'm not doing
You're
that.
sitting on top.
Yeah, I'm just
like a ledge.
stalling. Yeah.
You're doing it like a ledge, sitting on top. So now you have to use that like momentum of the transition to push you.
Okay.
So be in the back seat a little more. Yeah. The speed was nice. The slip out is real. It's a little scary, but it's like any new trick. You're gonna have to get through that like
I mean, it
the
feels
fall
like
factor.
The ledge, it feels like a ledge when you bail.
Yeah.
It still shoots out.
Yep. Ooh, it's looking good.
Felt better.
Even more in the back seat, I swear.
Even more.
Even more in the back seat.
Yeah, I feel like when you're on transition, you have to really like.
Really in the
sit
back.
Yeah.
You're in the back, and then the way that you get in front is when you're lifting off. Then you put all the weight in the front, and what that does is it avoids the hang up too.
Okay.
Because you start putting your weight towards the front as you're rolling in.
I feel it wanting to hang up hella like normal.
Yeah. Just sitting in the back, and then think of it like you could almost do a 5-0 when you're getting out of it if you really want to avoid that hang up.
A little bit.
Yeah, or just like you're grinding it, right?
Yeah.
And right towards the end, you kind of just
Lift up.
lift up ever
Then
so
drop
slightly, then drop it.
I feel like I didn't like it.
I think that was decent, but you want to have that rail more in the back. Like you're hitting your rail in the middle of the board, you want to hit the rail in the back of the board. Oh, there we go.
That one would have been.
That's the money
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah. Like a manual. sometimes.
does.
You know how like you have to sit in the real back seat for a manual?
And it's like a front foot actually like makes a difference.
Yeah, the front foot makes a big difference. A lot of it is the pinky toe, and the front foot just like you're literally like extending your front leg.
Yeah, no, the front foot makes it go forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
The back foot locks it, the front foot like makes it grind.
Yeah.
Or like guides the grind. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was a solid one.
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good grind.
That was not bad.
No, not at all. Bigger tires do help with this trick too, so having smaller tires is definitely going to be something where the transition will naturally grab you. The other thing is if you have a really steep quarter pipe, it's actually easier to grind too, because then you have less wheel grab, just like a front Smith.
Oh, it's like getting on a ledge.
Exactly. So like even something like this is a spine, so it'd be scary, but like something this steep would be nice. That's good progress though.
Dude, thank you, dude. I'm stoked.
Now we're gonna do back Smith, back tail slide.
Oh.
Stop it.
I'll try one.
Try it.
I'll try one.
Whoa, almost first go, yo. My man's combo god.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, good save. First fall.
Yeah. Pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part about backsmith like that is like when you bail sometimes you kind of roll over the back. It's kind of scary.
It was okay, it wasn't that scary.
Okay, good.
It wasn't too bad, honestly.
Wasn't that bad?
Yeah, for how many I've tried,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. You got it. I feel like learning new tricks is a lot about how you escape the trick when you don't land it. Yeah. Falling is a big part of skating, whether you like it or not. Yeah, redemption round. You pushed it.
I at least felt the sit.
Yeah, and you're pushing. Like, it looked like you had to push it,
A little
which
bit,
is good.
Because I didn't want to like fall again. But dude, thanks for showing me that.
Nice progress.
Yeah.